Well, the Ontario government moved yesterday to bring in legislation aimed at loosening interprovincial trade barriers. The province also signed memorandums of understandings with the premiers of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick on accepting registered workers from one province to work in the other. The freeing up of trade restrictions could have a favorable impact on the restaurant sector by allowing a better flow of food and alcohol. To talk about just that, we're joined by Kelly Higginson, President and Chief Executive Officer of Restaurants Canada. She joins us from Toronto. Kelly, thank you very much for joining us. Interprovincial trade barriers have been around for a long, long time, despite calls for many, many years to do away with them. We have or aspire to have free trade with the United States and other countries, and yet we don't have free trade with our own provinces. How has this affected the restaurant sector over the years?
Well, any sort of added on regulations and decreasing competitiveness, it's going to increase cost and lower access to goods that really we should have access to across the country. Producers such as Premier Ford referred to yesterday, producing a frozen pizza in Nova Scotia, it should be just as good for consumers in Ontario to eat. But unfortunately, because of regulations, whether it be transportation and other areas, it's added costs and it's added difficulty for producers to open up to other markets. So this is going to lower costs for our industry. It's going to bring more choice and access and competitiveness. All of those things make a difference at the bottom line. We've also heard from a transportation perspective that could lower costs by 7%. And we are a slim margin industry. So looking at a 7% decrease in cost to some of our goods could make or break profitability for many of our operators.
What about alcohol sales? People who visit LCBO stores in this province, that's the government-owned liquor retailer, will not find a whole lot of wine from British Columbia or Nova Scotia, for instance, in those stores, although I gather it's coming. I gather a decision made already by the Ontario government in connection with those other governments will bring some of that wine to Ontario stores. What has been the effect on the restaurant industry of the locked up distribution of alcohol in this country?
Sure, it's going to make a big difference for us and for the consumer as well. And I think, we're all thrilled to be able to see more access to these goods across the country and to be able to really have open trade, as you referred to, between the barriers or between the provinces and not have those barriers in place, especially at a time when the consumer, it's not a matter of hoping and wishing that a restaurant has something more Canadian on the menu. Consumers are demanding this of our restaurants. So we need to have open access. And we need to make this easier for our operators to be able to give the consumer what they're looking for. And
I gather the Ontario government has given members of your association, Restaurant Canada's, to increase the discount that restaurants, I guess, in this province get from the LCBO to 15%, correct?
What we saw is the Premier committing to deepening the wholesale alcohol discount for the restaurant industry in Ontario, and we are absolutely thrilled. This goes right to the bottom line for our operators and is going to make a big difference in helping to stabilize what has been a very challenging time for our operators as Canadians were moving through an affordability crisis, and now with the instability in the economy due to this trade war, this is going to really make a big difference for us.
You represent restaurants all over the country. I assume you would like other provinces to echo this move made by Ontario.
We are calling on all governments, and we were really thrilled to see New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and we're hearing rumors of Manitoba. But the more provinces that sign on to this, the more powerful a move like this is going to be. So we applaud the leadership of Premier Ford and really championing this issue. And again, we really applaud New Brunswick and Nova Scotia from getting on board. But we are looking forward to hearing that all provinces are opening up the trade barriers across the country and operating as one economy.
What about the movement of labor across the country? Your industry, the restaurant industry, depends on labor to operate, and my understanding is that often sufficient labor is not available. That restaurants would like to be able to hire more people.
We are always looking to increase our access to labor, and having this kind of awareness of being able to move freely across the country is always going to be beneficial. But I think there's also another piece of it for us. We also are dependent on having a strong and stable economy. And in order to have a strong and stable economy, you need to have Canadians working. So if there is more opportunity for nurses or other certified labor in another province, then let's get them moving there and let's get them working, because that means they're able to enjoy, the day-to-day quality of life, things like going to a restaurant.
Your industry doesn't rely on certified labor as such. I gather we hear about engineers and nurses not being able to work in another province. That would not apply to somebody with a chef's certificate from a college in, let's say, Ontario, would it, if that person wants to work in Saskatchewan?
We are not certified at that level, so if we have access to if you are trained at George Brown, for example, or another culinary school in Ontario, that is recognized in British Columbia. But again, more importantly, our operators are dependent on having a strong economy, communities with a strong economy, and Canadians who have access to opportunities in order to support their livelihood.
I spoke earlier in this hour with a real estate expert who said that in areas of the country that are where industries are most exposed to the tariffs, and we use the auto sector as an example, for instance, Windsor, Ontario, Brampton, Ontario, Oshawa, Ontario, he said that there's no question there's been a chill on real estate activity in those markets because people are uncertain about their jobs. Has the restaurant sector noticed a cooling of its own business in areas of the country that are perhaps most exposed to tariffs?
Absolutely. And we've been feeling this actually for quite some time. The tariff war has really been layered on top of the affordability challenges that Canadians have been feeling for the last, year or 2 years. So we've been feeling that side of it. And then we've got the added on with the tariff war. So we saw people starting to hold on to their cash, spending less. That uncertainty has really impacted us. But now that we've seen the real impact with job loss in those areas, absolutely, we are seeing a direct impact in that. So again, going back to having a strong and stable economy, thriving economy and thriving communities will benefit the restaurant industry. I always say we are an early indicator, and if you've got thriving restaurants, you generally then have a very healthy economy in that community.
Kelly, thank you so much for this. That's Kelly Higginson, President and CEO